Join the nation's top telecommunications leader, Cable Bahamas. Hear from our team as they share why this is the place for your next career move. Discover the future with us.
Hi, I'm Carol Pinder, and I am here with Mr. Dwayne Davis, who is the Group Chief Information Officer. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Pleasure.
All right, so my first question is, what has been your career path that has led you to Cable Bahamas?
Started 30 years ago, actually. Came out of college. Summary version, came out of college, couldn't find a job. Formed my first company in October 1993. I'm just doing a little peer-to-peer network, Peachtree Accounting. In 94, I went to Royal Bank. Did Royal Bank from 94 until December 98. Royal Bank on the retail side. In 98, Headhunter came, got me, went to JP Morgan. In 99, July of 1999, RBC split between the regional private banking and traditional regular banking. So he asked me to come back in August. Same salary, match for match. And I was responsible for the Caribbean. Nassau, Bahamas, Bermuda, Cayman Islands, Turks and Caicos is what I had. Now it's 28. So from 1998 until 2003, I kept the same salary, never negotiated, but I worked in 12 countries. Wow. So I gave up the monetary value for the experience, right? And then in 2003, it was burnt out after 9/11 because when September 11 happened in 2001, I actually had to go to my office and rebuild in New York. It was a very depression time. And I kind of burnt out. Took some time off, went to work at Citibank, took some time off, went to work for Abaco Markets, took some time off, and then a headhunter called me, and I went to UBS. And I became the country manager, IT manager for Bahamas and Cayman. Did that until December 2010 after the financial crisis. We kind of separated from each other. And I went back and formed my own business again in January 1st, 2011. My first client was Atlantis. When Brookfield brought them, we did the inventory for them. Then we did the Atlantic's PBX upgrade. August 2011, our competitor came. They were bought by Cable & Wireless. So they engaged me for 2 years. From 2011 to 2013, I did the firewall upgrade. I moved all the service to private cloud. I did the email migration. I also did the private, and I also did the firewall upgrade, single sign-on as well too. Left them in 2013, just went into my business. We did the Ministry of National Security. We won the contract to deploy all the TVs in Bahama on the property before they closed. We did the Wi-Fi / network design for Fusion. And then I was approached in 2016 in May to come work for ALIV. I told them no, I only wanted to be a consultant. And then they convinced me to come on. And I started July 1st, 2016. And then in 2001, I was asked to take over technology for both sides of the business. So since 2001, I've been managing both sides of the business, but July 1st made actually 8 years with the ALIV network.
It's a pretty impressive resume.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So you said, what a lot of entrepreneurs may think after being in my business and doing as well as you were doing in your business, I'd like to be a consultant, but not full time. But they convinced you to come on board. Mm-hmm. What did they say to convince you? And then have you ever thought about the decision and said, you know what, I really see how this really kind of made sense for me?
Two things made sense. Number one, when I had the interview, the then CEO said, well, Dwayne, you run your own business and you're working for us. If something happens here, what am I going to do? And I laughed. He said, why you laugh? He said, well, all my clients in your data center. So if you go down, my clients go down. So I still got to work it anyway, and they won't go that quiet.
I got to fix everybody.
And after that, the then CEO, Damon Blackburn, said, hey, meet me for Marty's, my favorite restaurant, the best seafood pizza in the country. And I went to lunch. He gave me an envelope with a job description. And he said, I want you to come work for me. There's your job description. He said, I don't know if I can pay you yet, but I offer you a job. I said, okay. We ate lunch and I left. And I showed up July 4th. And I think we had pay negotiated probably another week or two. But I took his word. We shook hands, looked him in his eye, took his word. Right? And you have to take somebody's word. If your word don't mean anything, then nothing much left.
And I never heard of that. For some people, it's the money. But for you, you're saying the scope of work that they were allowing you to do when he gave you the job description, that's what made it like.
When you look at it, how many other Bahamians can say they helped build 2 cell phone networks, right? Money is not a motivating factor for me because I've worked for everything out. right? My mom, true story. When I got my first paycheck with a little small company in 1993, I ran home, happy. Working living right off East Street. And I showed mommy what I got paid. And she started crying. I thought she was happy for me. My sister said, Dwayne, you realize in your first job, you making almost as much money as my mommy? And she put me through SAC. She put me through college. She helped me buy my first car. And my first salary was almost what mommy's making working as a sales manager.
Wow.
And from then, I don't let money motivate me. So if I show up tomorrow, you say, go home, I go home. I'll always be all right. I realize good friends, respect goes a long way in life. So I'm not motivated by money at all.
Good. So what do you enjoy about what you do with the IT?
Every day you learn something new, right? Every day you learn something new. And I think for me, when you stop learning, it's an issue. For example, we doing the fiber rollout. I love interacting with the installers, right? So what we did was we made it almost seamless to do the installation, technology-wise, right? I love interacting with people. But for me, I may not read books or blogs, but I do read a lot of technical notes that comes to me, right? So I get a lot of technical alerts. I do a lot of studies around what's the latest hot trend. And then I'll take that and then try find a way to manage it, right? For example, if you look at my area, we get the least of the money when budget come around. We're a cost center, but we like the engine, right?
Yeah.
You could buy a car without the engine's not gonna go nowhere, right?
No.
So, I always say we're the pot cake of the business. They only know us when they need us, right? So somebody, equipment go down, password reset, they call IT. So for me, I know I'm playing an important role. I have in my opinion, I think I have a great relationship with my CEO. I'm working for somebody that's young black name is solid. All my managers always been foreign. He's actually the first Bahamian person I've reported to in my 30 years working in business.
Wow.
Right. So that kind of makes it fun as well, too. Plus, Franklin, my CEO we having fun nowadays. He kind of looked tough one day, little teddy bear the next day. I said, because he's called me a teddy bear, right? So we kind of mix it up. But I love what I do every day. Now, the day I wake up and don't like it, I probably got to walk away. But I love what I do.
Yeah. You seem like you have a very effervescent personality and that you work well with people. And usually when you think of people who work in IT, it's just kind of like machine, but you kind of...
I'm not the typical IT person.
That's what I'm realizing.
Yeah, because remember now, when I started doing IT, there's no internet. There's no iPad. There's no desktop computer. There's no Apple. There's no iPhone. Basically, we came on the evolution of technology. So for us, it's fun. It's still fun. Because what was old, what was old is now new. And what is new, pick a little bit of the old.
Yeah. So it's a great place to work. You enjoy it. You get along with the CEO. But in every corporation, there are challenges. So what would you say are some of the challenges that you...
This generation.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know already.
No, this generation. Last year, in my 30 years, is the worst year in my 30 years working. This generation expects it all and now. And as long as you do what they want you to do, you're great. But the minute you ask them to do what they need to do, there's a problem. But I'm surrounded by an awesome team. Because you know what? Systems don't go down. Stability, we got some minor issues, maybe responses. We get beat up on audits every now and then, dotting your I, cross your T. I got a solid team, but people is your biggest thing. The weakest link in our business is people. So when you go home and you take your laptop and you go to Starbucks or you go somewhere and you're free Wi-Fi,
right,
you're exposing my network, exposing our network. So that's my biggest concern. I have no down days or no. I go to work. I don't let nothing faze me, right? Because at the end of the day, it is not that serious. You spend more time with your coworkers than you do your family. So all that running on them don't make no sense. It don't faze me.
Right.
I leave work, I go out, watch tea by treat. They have me a scotch and a cigar every Monday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday, Sunday, home with my family. Wednesdays, my catch-up day in my office, and holidays, I spend time with them. And that's me, on the dot. I don't get caught up in extra.
So what would you say is the solution to get the team on the same page or getting them to understand the fundamentals that they're not understanding?
The team is on the same page, but I think young persons haven't had to go through a lot of what we had to go through.
Okay.
Right. My first salary as an IT guy was $17,200. I pay double that now for my entry-level staff. Right. So they don't have to work for it. They're on the same team. My systems work. No issues, no crash. But there's that lack of respect for each other. I tell them, you don't have to like someone, just work with them. right? And it's just always,
So it's the trust
their
aspect?
trust is a major thing. Nobody trusts anybody these days,
Okay.
right? There's always a trust issue, but I think it's a whole interaction between younger staff, older staff. So my managers were more seasoned. A lot of them married. I said, look, help me manage the younger team.
Right.
And they kind of play with that. But young persons just feel entitled. And we're very materialistic too, right? So they see me pull up with a nice car. I don't work 30 years for that. They expect the same thing right away, right? It's a mentality. Also, how we bring up our kids. I think the Bahamas has changed from back in the day.
Yeah. It's totally different because
Instagram culture.
we're so exposed to everything that's out there. And so how do you think you do get them to understand or to appreciate? Because I do think that there are some young people who do have an appreciation for it. So what do you think it is that we can do?
Two things. They don't respect each other, but they respect process.
Okay.
And they're afraid to make mistakes. Right? And when they do make mistakes, they're afraid to say, hey, I made a mistake. So they're going to be hard. They're going to work hard not to mess up. Right? But it's even harder to say, hey, you know what's going on. So what you do, I spent maybe half day being a parent, half day maybe being a psychologist. Right?
Put on the different hats.
Even with my son run my business. So even with me, I have to find a way to be able to communicate with him in a way that's effective. Because I've changed over the last 10 years, right? I used to go from zero to hero quick. But you realize you need more patience, you need understanding, and also they want to be respected. Yeah. Right? As long as you respect them, I think you'll be all right at the end of the day.
Yeah. So I think there's both. I think there's things to learn on both sides.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I think that when growth happens on both sides and there's that commonality of, okay, they need respect, they go through process, but also they can learn from the older generation of this takes time and understand that it's not going to happen overnight.
Everybody wants respect. Nobody wants to feel disrespected.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when you do that, that helps. When you think about all of the time that you've had at your company and with your teams, what would you say is your fondest memory?
I think 4 in the last 10 years, right? One was when I was able to get a big client like Atlantis, my first client, right? I think number 2 for me was when November 24th, 2016, when we launched the ALIV network. I was real proud to be the first Bahamian network, right? Dorian opened my eyes because before Dorian in 2019, I thought I was done. Yeah, I thought I was done with the business. I thought I was moving on. Wasn't feeling good. But then to see Dorian, that kind of like re-energized me. Because, we had to rebuild a network. And then I remember I remember us renting the boat, mailboat. And we sent mailboat down with portable towers, cell towers, extra gasoline and all that. And then at that time we had a cafeteria. So we sent our chefs down. We got like food and everything. And we said, bring back who you could bring back. Don't bring back no equipment. Just bring back who you could bring back. And we took some divers there to dive the harbor. We were the first first mailboat, government or private sector, in Marsh Harbor. So they dove the harbor, we dove in, and they just had hundreds of people on the dock. And so we took all the equipment on, and of course we had security. And when I saw the videos and the stories, people hadn't eaten in days. So our chef was able to cook like white rice and grits and corned beef and tuna. We had fruits, we had vegetables, we had water, we had juice, we had sodas. We even sent out a couple of cases of beer. And that was like heaven. When they came back, we met them at the airport with buses and we transported them out by jet aviation, right? So that was a proud moment. And I think the last one for me was May last year when we launched ALIV Fiber. So it's another first, so I was able to be working with my team to build up a network to launch ALIV Fiber for Bahamas. So those be the 4 things.
I love that. So history maker, but also leaving an impact. And I'm from Grand Bahama, so I remember being in Dorian.
Yeah, there was nothing.
And
I remember on the day after Dorian moved on from Abaco and people in Grand Bahama when the guys went on the jet ski, there was nothing working. BTC went down. We were the only ones. I drove to Nemo and I walked on air and I say, look, if you have an ALIV phone or if you know someone with an ALIV phone, call it because our network is working.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that day. And that's how we were able. And then we sent a couple hundred phones to Grand Bahama, basically giving them out for like $30. Yeah. Because but the only sad part was when you get to the bridge to go to the East End, the coverage is a little spotty out there, right? And then also when you look at the picture, We had to get helicopters, drop the guys on the beach in Sandy Point, pull the fiber, repair the fiber. We had guys at East End where the landing had to go in a little 17-foot skiff, couldn't see, using satellite and feeling the way in the water to bring it to fiber. There's a million stories that can resonate. But I think another problem for me is that in 2019, we were managed by young Black Bahamian engineers, all under the age of 35. All under the age of 35. When you look at Trico and Derek and Mike. So there's a lot of history to be told in reference to this company over the last many years.
And what they've done. And just the innovation, the bravery, seeing that there is more that they could do. And I think that that's good when people understand the overall impact that the company is able to make, and not just, because I think sometimes you can get very focused on, this is my job and this is what I do, and get very methodical instead of seeing the overall picture of how, as a company, you're contributing. Yeah, so I think that's great. If someone was thinking about working here, what would you tell them about what that experience is like?
I think every month we do new persons coming in, right? When you look at companies in the Bahamas, I think we're one of the best. I say that for a couple of reasons. When you look at the benefits, right, which is pretty good, to be honest with you. I think the only person with better benefits is a hotel. Like, for example, when you go to Atlantis or Bahama, they give you a uniform, they give you 3 meals a day,
They do give you food.
Right, they do feed you, right? But ALIV, I think when you look at the technology area, we pay with the market. We can always go around that. Free phone, free service, free internet, cable at bum rate. We have a very good healthcare system, but we also got good life balance. So we do a hybrid solution, 3-2. So you come in 2 days a week, you wake home 3 days a week.
Is that everybody?
Who want to?
Okay.
Right, so you get the life balance. But, now more people in the office now, it's so hot. So rather than burn my AC, I might just come to the office and use the AC, right? So we have a little bit of that. But I honestly feel it is. I mean, it's not perfect, but I honestly feel that's a good institution to work for. Bahama's got a bright future, right? Has a hell of a bright future. And it's up to what they do. I mean, look, we got a Bahamian CEO.
Yeah.
Right? I think he's the first one, right? The two before him were not. But I think that's good leadership.
That is. Well, technology changes every day.
Not really.
Not every day, but rapidly, very rapidly. How do you and your team stay on the cutting edge of the fact that technology is changing and evolving? Because it will affect the services and the things that you provide.
Not really, All the pretty fancy stuff you see at trade shows and TV don't necessarily translate to every day. Nothing really changes. Your laptop's the same laptop. Your cell phone's the same cell phone. At ALIV, we still do voice, data, SMS. Cable Bahamas, we still do cable TV, internet, phone. Nothing changed.
Some aspects in TV change.
You deliver it.
Yeah.
Like right now, OTA is a big thing now. Everybody now wants to do Netflix or,
the streaming.
Or YouTube. A lot of streaming going on, right? But technically speaking, and now the hot word now is AI. There's a gazillion meanings between AI, right? Like right now, when you dial 611, that's a low version of AI. When you interact with the IVR to purchase a plan or get information, right? What I do is, that's why I try and stay on top of my blogs. You see what's going on.
Okay.
I go to Mobile World Congress at least once a year or every other year in Barcelona to see what's going on. I'm a member I'm the only international member right now, the Black CIOs of America, ITSMF. So I go to that conference twice a year, right? Every spring, every fall, to see what's going on, talk to my colleagues. I get to sit around the table with CIOs and CISOs from Carnival and Royal Caribbean and Scott, different companies in the States and so forth, Cox and so forth, right? So you learn from them. We got these little chat groups where you learn certain things. You get hit up on LinkedIn quite a bit. Person's got ideas. But it changes, but it doesn't change that much, right?
But with you staying in the know, you're there for readily information of what people are talking about and what's going on. And so it also will...
I think like them, the guys who are shooting this now, I think their industry would change a lot more than mine. They get a little fancier cameras and more ways to deliver it and more ways to do things. But for me, it's still back to like...
At its core, it's still pretty much the same. Okay, at its core, it's still the same.
Processes are faster. There are more ways to be efficient. But unfortunately, technology still needs people. Right? AI will never replace people. No. Technology never replaces people.
No. So this is my final question.
Mhm.
You've been able to work your way up throughout the organization and have stayed on top of things, as you said, with the different conferences and things that
Mhm.
you do. For someone that may be at an entry level position or wants to see longevity in the company, what would your advice be to them um, when they're trying
Woo.
to
Well,
navigate their career path?
it's a different generation, man.
So what do they need to know?
Loyalty, I think you have to know what you want to do.
Mm,
Like I said, I hold firm at the same salary for about 5 to 7 years
mhm.
because I want the exposure. I want the experience. I tell them life's a marathon, not a sprint. It's going to take a minute to get there. You got to put in your time, right? You're not going to get it right away. And you got to earn the trust of your colleagues. You got to earn the trust of the business you work for. So I tell a lot of them coming in now is look around. If you're in an area and one of your colleagues are doing something, say something. Talk to them first because it can affect you. But they see it as snitching or talking to my person. Communicate. Treat people with respect and be you, right? I think when you do that, not much people like me. I don't really worry about that. But a lot of people respect me. I can open doors, pick up the phone. And like my granddaddy tell me, don't put money in the bank. Respect gets you a whole lot of things. So if you don't like me, that's good. I get with that. But, when I can pick up the phone, I call the prime minister, separate prime minister, former, future, whoever. We can get things done. So what I like about this is when you look at Franklin and I, we tend to work the public side of it. We could call, we need to call, we need to get something done, we get something done. And that's what I live for.
Mhm.
But also, too, you got to be true to yourself. You have to be able to disconnect. You got to find that balance. 'Cause
Yeah.
you won't burn yourself out.
No.
There's this whole myth that, when you're sleeping, you don't make money. Well, I probably broke that, right? Because I get 7 to 9 hours every night without hands down. I have to, right? Because they pay me for my brand, not for my luck, right? I'm getting paid for my brands. So I need the rest. So this whole thing about, when you sleep and you
Hustle
don't making
culture.
no money, bro, I know plenty of grass pass out from being tired. No, I can get my sleep so I can focus and be good to myself the next day.
I love it. So don't get caught up in the hustle culture.
Mm.
And as the old people say, manners and respect will take
Yep.
you around the world.
Long way. All my boys used to hustle away, and dad still walking the street calling down poles or something like that, right? So nothing is free. That Instagram life, that's just Instagram, right?
Mhm.
As an example, when you see Kim Kardashian driving a Range Rover, she didn't pay for that. They tell her to drive that so you can go buy that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to be true to yourself and what it is you want to do.
Yeah. Okay. So when you think about your department
Mhm.
and just Cable Bahamas as a whole, why would you think that someone would be interested in being a part of your team?
A lot of the resumes we get is around technology, right? If you take my department, for example, we manage 3 different businesses, right? The oil rail business, the mobile business, and now the fiber business, right? So they're going to learn, number one. Number two, we're pretty advanced when you look at our technology platform. So they're going to learn some new things with Veeam, how you do backups and so forth. We got a primary location in Nassau, backup location in Grand Bahama. When you look at the company, we're poised in the fact that we cover the entire Bahamas. So whether you're in Bimini or Inagua, we get the same self-service, right? You're servicing a market base that's reliant upon the services you provide, right? So 911, we're the backup for that. So when you offer certain things. So coming to work for ALIV is going to be like, we used to see ourselves, or Cable Bahamas, like a little Silicon Valley, like a little tech startup, right? So it'll be exciting. There's opportunities to learn. And then, like I said, there's also life balance as well, too. We try and do both of those. And then, of course, one of the mantras this year we want to do is we want to be within the top 25% of the country in pay. So overall compensation, I should say, rather than pay. So I think those would be some driving forces.
I like it. And like you said, it's like the Silicon Valley.
It is. And then, whether you work in the customer care, which is in Grand Bahama and Nassau, whether you're a fiber installer, whether you're a live help desk, whether you're a network engineer, whether you work in information security, whether you work in human resources, whether you work in tech operations, whether you work in operations, whether you're a custodian, whether you're in facilities, whether you're in security. So there's a ton of different areas within this company.
Right.
With close to 800 employees, right? So there's so much to do. And on top of that, we're 24/7, 365 business, right? So depending if you're not management, you get compensated with overtime pay. If you're a manager, then in some departments, you'll be given the time back to be able to balance, right? So there are quite a bit of good opportunities there.
And it allows people to have the room to be able to to grow.
Mhm.
Like you said, it's a really big team,
Mhm.
and then they're able to really like get into that tech side if that's something.
Yeah,
that
and then
just
when you compare it to other companies, like I said, I use the hotel as an example with the free uniform and the food, right?
right.
I think that the benefits that we have, the healthcare is top notch, right? The compensation around the salary, the bonuses, free phone, all that stuff, right? Which is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Also, our reward, we have an Epics reward now. That's every quarter. Epic reward, where every department nominated the first person get a monetary contribution. Then you become the Epic Award winner for the quarter. Then you become the Epic Award winner for the year. We do a yearly employee engagement so we can get your feedback and your thoughts on how things are going. So we like talking to the staff.
It's good.
Every now and then we do a little party, either in the backyard. We do a huge Christmas party. Last year we did it in Atlanta. So we work hard and we also play hard.
I love
as well,
it.
too.
I love it. But thank you so much for sharing a little bit about, what you do and what people can expect when they work with you.
No problem.